Hello dear friends and NET aspirants, welcome back to yet another video lecture session of High Point in the lecture series of Literary Theory and Criticism. So we have started with the Structuralist Literary Criticism, and this is the first literary thinker in connection with the structuralism that we are going to learn, Charles Sanders Peirce, who has lived from 1839 to 1914. And before get into the video, let me remind you to subscribe to my channel if you have not subscribed, and also press the bell icon while you subscribe so that you get a notification when we upload something in here. And also follow me on Instagram so that you have much more amount of study materials, variety of study materials for your NET JRF English Language and Literature paper 2 preparation. And if you are looking for some affordable study materials which are so simplified and well arranged, you can visit my website www.highpoint.in. see the materials that we have provided there. The materials are available in the form of audio lectures and downloadable PDF materials and previous and practice question papers. You can have all of them once you subscribe to our course and be a part of our family as a student. If you want to know anything related to the offers and the free bonuses of personalized study guideline and weekly tests going on in every Saturdays, you can WhatsApp me or call me in this number, or you can use the Instagram ID to reach out to me. Okay, if you're interested, let me know. From the website itself you can join the course, or from the website itself you can chat with me. Okay, about Charles Sanders Peirce, let's have an introduction about his life and career. He was an American philosopher, logician, mathematician, and scientist. So he was in plenty. American philosopher, logician, mathematician, and scientist. He is known as the father of pragmatism. So who is known as a father of pragmatism? Charles Sanders Peirce. And he made major contributions to logic, a subject that it for him encompassed much of that is now called epistemology and the philosophy of science. So he mainly contributed to logic, epistemology, and the philosophy of science. He saw logic as the formal branch of semiotics, and which he is a founder. So he is one of the founder of semiotic, and he perceived logic as the formal branch of semiotics, of which he is a founder. Now, Peirce's theory of science is known to be one of the most complex semiotic theories due to its generalistic claim. His theory about science is one of the complex semiotic theories in this session. And anything is a sign, not absolutely it's as itself, but instead in some relation or other. So he had a generalistic claim about science that even made his theory of science as more complex, and he claims that anything is a sign, not absolutely as itself, but instead in some relation or other, with some relation or other, anything is a sign, and the sign relation is the key. It defines three roles encompassing the sign subject matter called its object, and third one is the sign's meaning or ramification as formed into a kind of effect called its interpretant. A further sign, for example, a translation. So he defines three roles. First one is the sign. Okay. Second one is the sign subject matter. So what is the subject? That means the object of the sign. So what is the subject matter? So how come that sign is relevant? And the third one is the sign's meaning or ramification as formed into a kind of effect called its interpretant. So what kind of interpretation, what kind of ramification or meaning that sign is giving? So that is the third role. The roles are distinct even when the things that fill those roles are not. So maybe the roles here, the three roles are distinct, they are different, even when the things that these roles are representing, they may not be distinct, but the roles are very distinct. The roles are but three. A sign of an object leads to one or more interpretant. So there will be a sign, only one sign or an object, but it can lead to one or more interpretant. It's not necessary that a sign will lead to another object or in only one interpretant, but it can lead to one or more interpretant, and as signs they lead to further interpretants. So these interpretants, they will be signs, and they can lead to further interpretants, two or more or one or more interpretants. Now, extension, intention equal to information. This is another idea that Peirce explains: extension, intention equal to information. So extension and intention together, when they are together come, it is information. Two traditional approaches to sign relation necessary through insufficient are the ways of extension. A sign's object, so-called breadth denotation, application. So extension means the objects, the meaning, the breadth, the denotation and application of the sign. So these are the extension. The way of intention, the object's characteristics, qualities, attributes referenced by the sign, depth, comprehension, signification and connotation. So these are the intention of a sign. So there are two traditional approaches to sign relation. So first one is extension. Extension is sign's object, that is the subject of the sign. Then also it is the denotation and application of that sign, when the intention is that the characteristics, qualities and attributions and the comprehensions and the signification and connotation of a sign. So extension and intention together equal to information. Peirce adds a third, the way of information, including change of information to integrate the other two approaches to a unified whole. So extension of sign and intention of sign were there. These two ideas were there. So what is new? Peirce added a third one, information, to combining these two things. So integrating the notions of extension and intention about sign as a unified whole, there is a third way, third approach to, or third way is known as information. So extension and intention together forms information. Now let's see his concepts related to semiotic elements. Peirce held there are exactly three basic elements in semiosis. Semiosis is sign action. Semiosis denotes sign action. So he says that there are exactly three basic elements. First one is a sign or a representative. So let's take sign. A sign represent in the broadest possible sense, represents. So in the broadest possible sense, a sign represents something, right? A sign represents something. If you see something, that represents something. Anything can be a sign, and any other sign represents something. It is not necessarily symbolic, linguistic or artificial. A cloud might be a sign of rain, for instance. So represents means it may not be, the sign may not be always a symbol, always something related to language or linguistic, or always anything artificial, an object, but maybe a cloud. For example, a cloud might be a sign of rain. Ruins, the sign of ancient, like ruins, somewhere in ruin we visit there, and ruins, we have seen ruins of ancient civilization. It's a sign of ancient civilization. So mainly a sign, the basic element, the first basic element of semiosis is a sign. Sign can be anything, may not be always symbolic, linguistic or artificial, but it can be anything. The second element is an object, that is semiotic object is a subject matter of a sign and an interpretant. So the second point is an object. It's the subject matter of the sign. That is, what is the interpretation that we are giving to that sign. It can be anything thinkable. So whatever you are thinking, that can be an interpretant of a sign. A quality, an occurrence, a rule, etc. Even fictional, such as Prince Hamlet. So Prince Hamlet as a sign, it can be interpreted in several ways. Procrastination, madness. So it can, anything that can be thinkable, that is a quality, that is an occurrence, a rule. Even fictional things can be an object of a sign. All of these are spatial and partial objects. All of those are spatial and partial objects. Now, the third basic element is an interpretant or interpretant sign. Is a sign's meaning or ramification as formed into a kind of idea or effect and interpretation, human or otherwise. So interpretant is, it's a meaning of the sign or ramification, given to a sign as formed into a kind of idea or effect and interpretation. So basically it's an interpretation given to a sign, and interpretant is a sign of the object and of the independent predecessors then as a sign of the same object. So independent is again is a sign. A sign is there, an object, a meaning for the sign is there, there is an interpretation for that sign. That interpretant is again a sign, okay, and it's a sign of an object, or it's a sign of the interpretant's predecessors, okay, the interpreted sign. So it's a sign of the interpreted sign again as a sign of the same object. That's all about Charles Sanders Peirce. Hope this was clear to you, or at least helpful for you to understand certain things related to Peirce's concept of structuralist criticism. If you have any doubts, let me know in the comment section, and don't forget to visit my website, and also follow me on Instagram. And if you have not subscribed to my channel, subscribe to it. And if you have any doubts regarding the study materials that we are providing or the courses that we are providing, you can use this number for further help, and also come to Instagram page if you want to chat with me. Okay, meet in the next video session. Until then, stay tuned to High Point and be happy and strive for the best. Thank you for watching this video. Tata, bye bye.